Okay, we're gonna try this a little bit different today. I'm gonna do a segment called Tall Tales, and it's gonna be a little bit about where I came from, how how I wound up where I'm at, and how your past life sort of makes you what you are today. They, we're gonna start off with an old boy that was named Slim. He's about 80 years old. He knew more about that Brazos River than anybody I ever met in my life. He made a living on that river, catching fish, just commercial fishermen and selling them, and doing a little bit of trapping. And he pretty well had lived on that river ever since he was a little kid. But when I met him, I was about 10 years old. And for some reason, he took a 10-year-old kid under his wing and used to take me fishing on that river and taught me a lot of things about wildlife and fish and game, and how to survive, how to make it. Our normal deal, when we'd go to the river, he'd buy a new paint can every time we went, a gallon paint can. He'd throw a little bit of coffee in that, a little bit of cooking oil, the one little small pan, and that was it. We carried that, and each one of us carried a wool blanket, and there wasn't no tents, and there wasn't no sleeping bags, and just nice and simple, you know. We'd get down on the edge of that river, and first thing we had to do was seine some bait. We never bought any kind of bait because there was always grasshoppers or frogs or Hilgramites or minnows or shad or something that we could use for bait. And we'd get that gathered up and get 3 or 4 rods out, and then we'd start setting camp up. You try to find you a little bit of a flat spot, a little bit of ways back from the river just in case the river was to come up a little bit. And Slim would dump everything out of that paint can, walk down the edge of the river and dip it in, and river water right straight out of it. Come up there and put it on the campfire, throw a handful of coffee in it, a green stick across the top of it to bust the bubbles and keep it from running over. And that was the coffee pot. You talk about cowboy coffee, now that's what that was. You could stand a spoon up in it and the spoon would just about melt. But that old man knew that river. He knew where the fish went when that river went up a half inch. He knew where it went when they went down a half inch. You know, if it was at flood stage, he knew where them fish were at. And he taught me that. And he also taught me that every time you see an animal, I used to hunt a lot, or a fish, and you're fishing and you catch a fish in a certain place, you need to wonder why that fish is there, or why that deer was there, or what made him come in there. You need to try to think like them, and if you do, you'll be successful at it. And that's one thing I really gotta say I appreciate that old man about. Slim was a character, and he didn't know how much good he did me. He gave me the confidence to know that you give me a pocket knife and I can just about make it anywhere. And feed myself and stay warm and stay dry and eat. And that's something for a 10, 11-year-old kid to have that kind of confidence. And he, like I say, he did me a real favor doing what he did for me. It's a shame nowadays kids just don't have that opportunity. They can't get out, go do stuff, and spend weekends on the river without their parents worrying about them because somebody's there to take care of them. And most of the parents don't know anything about surviving. You know, just most people we got now would starve to death in a week, and it's just really a shame our kids are coming up that way and don't have that expertise. So anytime any of y'all get a chance to take a kid under your wing and teach him a little bit of something, it don't have to be a whole lot, just a little bit. You maybe light that fire and give that kid some confidence. and something that he's good at. I taught archery to kids, how to shoot guns, how to fish, how to ride motorcycles. I've helped a lot of kids in my life, and that's one of my greatest joys. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all one little story that's hooked up with that Brazos River. There were three of us went out there one afternoon late, and got the white bass run was going, and we were in water about knee deep, fishing. And of course, there wasn't any bathing suits. Everybody had a pair of cut off jeans on. Well, I had one of my friends named Jay that he liked to fish at night. He got out there and got started fishing, and he had caught, I don't know, 3 or 4 white bass, and he just put them on a stringer and tied them to his belt. And we kept telling him, you better wade out and put them fish up here close to the bank, or something's gonna try to get them. Well, he didn't pay no attention to us. And he had that headlamp on. And we was all fishing, and all of a sudden I heard Jay scream. Sound like a girl now. He'd have put a girl to shame the way he was screaming. He threw that rod and reel one direction, took off running, knocked that headlamp off, and it already got about semi-dark. And he took off running, just like the devil was after him. Well, we thought sure a cottonmouth had done got him, so we took off after him too. We all barefooted. Well, finally, about the time he got out of the water, he fell. Well, he was so exhausted he couldn't get up. And when we got to him, I hit the ground laughing so hard I couldn't even talk. What had happened, a little old bitty gar that was 8 or 10 inches long had got around the bottom of them jeans. You know how jeans will buzz up when you wash them. Well, he'd try to get one of them fish, and when he did, he'd tangle his teeth up in that buzz. And when that fish tried to get loose from that buzz, he flopped, and when he did, he pinned Jay in the leg. Well, Jay thought something had done bit him, and he could feel that cold thing flopping up against his leg and sticking him. And he probably ran 200 yards through that water before we finally failed. But that just goes to show you, sometimes you need to listen to other folks. Something I didn't mention was Slim. We used to do a lot of trot lining and drop line. We didn't have a boat. As long as the water wasn't over neck deep on me, well, we just go in and string them trot lines and bait them and run them and put them fish on the stringer, and it was a pretty simple way of enjoying yourself. Okay, this has been a little bit different. If y'all enjoy it, well, sort of let me know in the comments, and I'll do one of these every once in a while. Find out a little bit about who I am, and if y'all got anything to add to it, we'll do. Okay, y'all have a great day. Goodbye. Catfish Charlie says, oh no, man, I've heard these stories 100 times. I'm going to sleep.